All right, so welcome back. The next background is Nuzi Tablets. Nuzi Tablets. So this Nuzi Tablet is a kind of collection. Is a collection of ancient Mesopotamia clay. So clay tablets, which was discovered in 1920s and 1930s in the site of Nuzi. So in the modern day Iraq. So this is actually dated back to the 15th to 14th century BC during the Mitanni Kingdom. So, and basically it has the content, the content or the context of the Nuzi culture, the Nuzian culture. So now let's quickly see the contents, what did this tablet actually contain. So number one is that it contains a legal document. So we have in it the contracts, we have deeds, we have court records, so which provide insight into Nuzi's legal system. Another one is economic record. So we have administrative documents including financial transactions, so trade records and inventory list. So we also have letters in it, so correspondence between officials, merchants, individuals, revealing social and cultural aspects too. So we also have literary contents like mythology and legendary stories, which include fragments of the Epic of Gilgamesh. Now let's quickly talk about the significance of these tablets. So the first one is that it has a biblical parallel. So the Nuzi tablets contain customs, laws, and practices similar to those described in Genesis. So we are going to find some customs, laws, some of the practices that are very similar to the one recorded in Genesis, such as examples. We have adoption. So adoption is one of the culture of Genesis. Inheritance, yes, and marriage. So we also have the sisterhood status too, which is gotten from which were the culture of the Nuzi people, of the Nuzians. So this is very similar to the cultures that we have in the Old Testament in Genesis. So we also have the Asian Near Eastern culture. So they also provide us with valuable insights into the culture, society, and the economy of the ancient Near East. So these Nuzi tablets actually explore the culture of the ancient Mesopotamia, their economy, so in the ancient Near East. So another one is the historical context. So the tablet also offers a unique window into the Mitanni Kingdom and its relationship with other ancient civilizations. We also have language and scripts. So let's quickly see the similarities between the two. So the first one is that we have the context of adoption and inheritance customs. Just like Abraham adopted a child called Eliezer. So he was scared. Yes, when he had no child, he adopted a child he adopted a slave boy called Eliezer. And not only did he did that, so that's his adoption. So why did he adopted a child? So he was so scared that there was no one to actually inherit what he had. So he adopted Eliezer with the mindset of at least he was not able to actually give birth later. So Eliezer will actually inherit those things he was going to leave. So even though later he became scared that is he going to be this slave boy that will take over everything I have? So that is one culture. So another one is marriage and divorce law. So we have the marriage law in the Bible and divorce law in the Bible. So for example, now in those days, I think the father will determine who their daughter or their sons will actually marry. Just like was it Isaac or someone? I think Abraham sent out his servant to go and look for, to go and get his son Isaac a wife. So it was one of their culture to get him a wife, and which he did. And also, Jacob, when he was to marry, so he went to Laban, who was his father-in-law, and he served there for 14 years before he could get married to the choice of his woman. So we have that too. So we have like divorce law too. Divorce law, which can also be compared to that of the Mosaic law. So there's everything had been documented in this Nuzi, in Nuzi. So it was their own ways of life. So they are very well organized. So another thing is that we have the similarity of slave and servant regulation. So we have the context of slavery in the Bible. So a slave is owned by his master. So and there is this regulation that actually go along with it. So I'm not going to really deeply explain that. But one thing is that it was most of these regulations that we find in Genesis are quite obviously similar to that of the one we have in that is recorded in Nuzi, or the practices of the Nuzi people. So Nuzi people. So we also have business and trade practice. So likewise, there is this context of sisterhood, the sisterhood status. So that is, a lot of people will say that Abraham lied, that Sarah was his sister. So Abraham did not actually lie. If you have a working knowledge of this Mesopotamian culture, or this Nuzi culture, so it was a culture which the title the sisterhood status. So that is, a wife can actually enjoy the privilege of being the sister of his husband when they get married. So that was what Abraham did. And don't forget that Abraham came from this part of the world. He came from this part of the world. He was not lying. He was only actually practicing the culture of their land. So the culture of their land. We also have deathbed blessing. So it was a culture then. If the father wanted to die, so he was going to call all his children sons and bless them, tell them what will become of them in the future. So as we have habits in Genesis and the Old Testament in general. So it was a culture, it was a Nuzian culture, it was a Mesopotamian culture. We also have another similarity is business and trade practices. So if you look at the trade practices of the Nuzian people compared to the one in Genesis, they are obviously similar to each other. So now, if you have understanding of this Nuzian culture, trust me, you are going to get to understand some of the reason why some cultures are being practiced in the Bible. So we are going to get to know that these people actually came from this part of the world. It was their culture. They were trained up with it. Don't forget that Abraham came from the Ur of Chaldean in Babylon, which is located in Mesopotamia, located in the Asian Near East. It was where he grew up. Definitely, he grew up being trained in this culture. And Abraham is the father of the Hebrews. And the Bible we're talking about from A to Z actually center around the Hebrews. Definitely, we are going to see their culture. And the culture of these people can be traced back to the ancient Mesopotamia culture. Thank you for watching, and God bless you. In the next video, I'm going to talk about the last one, which is called the Tale of Two Brothers. Stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe.